The Awakening of the Chosen. Welcome each person to the Awakening of the Chosen. I am Gabriel, and in the next few minutes of information, you, selected to be here now, will find out something that Maximum will in no way have access to. What I am approximately to share could alternate the way you spot the arena around you, and most importantly, yourself. Because sure, you are a part of an extra, particular, and effective motive. Whilst the general public try to apprehend what's happening, you are approximately to look what few may even imagine. If you've come this some distance, it is no longer by hazard. There is a purpose, and it starts off, evolved now. Every element of this video become organized for people who recognize that now's the time to understand their own energy, their rareness, and their position on this adventure. So, live tuned, due to the fact what you will see here is not just a warning or any message, but a non-secular secret reserved for you who dares to searching for what few have the courage to stand. Shall we cross collectively? Welcome the anointed. The proud fall the toughest, especially after they don't see it coming proper. Imagine a highlight so shiny that it reveals each hidden flaw, each masked purpose, exposing individuals who concept they were untouchable. Now here is a reality. Traditionally, public figures, rulers, and conspirators who performed dirty have rarely escaped humiliation when divine justice struck their carefully built empires. Reputations and facades, not most effective, crumbled. They shattered for all to peer. However, right here's the factor. The very ones who set traps for others are frequently the ones who fall face first into them. It is like watching someone throw a Marvel birthday party and then forgetting it is for themselves. These days, we are speaking approximately a distinct sort of surprise birthday celebration, where God himself orchestrates the ultimate payback for individuals who dared to play along with his selected ones. So sit down back, due to the fact whilst God is about to publicly humiliate his enemies, it is no longer just a display. It is the form of justice that even karma takes word of. First, the silent stroke of divine timing. God's time is silent and particular, like a clock ticking inside the history that simplest he hears. His enemies frequently mistake this silence for inactivity, wondering that their schemes have gone unnoticed or, worse, but accepted. But that silence isn't by danger. It's miles God setting the level for a revelation a long way extra than they ever predicted. While they go about their days convinced they may be untouchable, their confidence blinds them to the truth. Each flow they make is being accounted for, right down to the smallest element. They assume they may be free from outcomes, collecting offenses, and acting as though their energy and standing are untouchable. However, divine timing is at play, and it is beyond any timeline they are able to imagine. God waits, allowing them to bury themselves deeper, allowing them to reach the factor in which they feel most comfy in their moves. Then, when the moment is flawlessly ripe, God acts. There's no caution, no slow decline. It is a swift and simple change that gives them no time to cowl their tracks or feign innocence. Their movements are uncovered and everyone sees them for who they certainly are. They live there, uncovered, and not using a room to deny what become done. The silence that after felt secure will become a crushing weight, a reminder that they miscalculated on the largest scale viable. The idea they might outmaneuver divine justice. However, God was without a doubt letting the clock tick until every detail was worked out. And the irony? They had been too busy celebrating their victory to be aware the enticed tightening round them. On this silent time, God has ensured the ultimate effect, delivering a justice that hits toughest, leaves no room for getaway, and guarantees they recognize precisely what they have carried out. Secondly, their darkness may be their undoing. The darkness inside their enemies isn't just a hidden part of who they may be. It's their fall in the making. They accept as true with that their schemes, lies, and manipulations will stay in the shadows, far away from anyone's eyes. But right here's the truth. When God acts, he does not just deliver justice. He turns that very darkness into the supply of his exposure. It's as if the weight of every selfish act, each betrayal, and each try to undermine you will become gas for his or her very own crumble. They function in secret, feeling untouchable, thinking they can control human beings and consequences without effects. However, at the same time as they're busy constructing this hidden pile of resentment and envy, they do not understand that every piece they add to, it'll come again in ways they never deliberate. God does now not need to create an external punishment for them. Your own actions are the seeds of your downfall. All that hidden darkness is brought to mild, and its miles stark and simple. Whilst this publicity occurs, it isn't always diffused. Anybody around them, human beings they will have tricked or satisfied, see their proper shades. The charm, the lies, the masks they so cautiously wore fall away, revealing their intentions. Suddenly, they're now not in control of the narrative. What they attempted to cover will become the very element that defines them. The electricity they notion they had turns to dirt as their very own darkness consumes them, leaving them suffering to explain or justify what can no longer be denied. In the end, their downfall is not just poetic justice, it's far a trap of their own making that they have fallen into. God's justice is precise, allowing their personal deeds to turn out to be the judgment towards them. And at the same time as all people seize the fact, they may be left with not anything, however, the uncooked truth they created. Thirdly, your electricity will disintegrate in simple sight. Proper humiliation doesn't happen in private. It occurs in plain sight with nowhere to cover. When God brings justice, it isn't in whispered secrets or closed doorways. It is out in the open, where every person can see it. Those who hurt you, who tried to discredit you or control you, regularly constructed complete lives on a facade, cautiously curating their photograph so that others see them as powerful, truthful, or even admirable. But when God intervenes, that photograph would not just crack, it shatters, leaving the reality naked for all to witness. For those who've trusted their reputation as a guard, this kind of exposure is a harsh awakening. They have spent a lot of time constructing a concept of themselves for others to respect or worry them, that they may have thought they have been invincible, questioning that they had fooled everyone. However, when your movements are uncovered in public, that cautiously built picture becomes not anything greater than a phantasm, and everybody sees it. At this moment, they're stripped of the protection net of public opinion. The very humans they attempted to electrify or manage now see their screw-ups and betrayals up close. There is no greater room for excuses and no extra story to cover. His strength, which as soon as seemed so sturdy, is all of a sudden as fragile as glass. This type of public reckoning is exceptional. It's now not just about proving you are right, it is about bringing the truth into full view so that everyone, friends, own family, colleagues, can witness exactly who they are. And on this exposition, God isn't just protecting them accountable. He is sending a message that no mask, no lie, and no illusion can endure forever. The element they valued maximum, their recognition, becomes the very thing that falls apart, all in front of the arena. Fourthly, his stillness was the trap. His stillness, his patience, became now not weakness. It became the lure they by no means saw coming. Even as your enemies took benefit of your silence, wondering you were vulnerable or without problems brushed aside, they failed to realize you were permitting them to screen themselves. They mistook his calm for give up, assuming they might continue to strain, manipulate, or undermine without effects. However, it truly is, wherein they had been incorrect. Their stillness turned into intentional, a space that allowed them to delve deeper and expose their actual intentions without any interference from you. As they persevered to press, they only have become extra audacious, satisfied that nothing ought to stop them. They interpreted your staying power as permission, absolutely unaware of the truth which you were looking, waiting, and permitting them to put together. God regularly works this way, letting your calm end up the very aspect that exposes folks that are against you. The more they acted, the extra obvious their motives became. They ended up building a case in opposition to themselves, one that needed no protection on their part. His containment was their trap, and they walked immediately into it without a clue. Whilst the instant subsequently comes for the fact to emerge, it's miles simple. They cannot move lower back and undo what they did, or erase the image they created for all and sundry to look. Your silence turns into their highlight, without delay shining a light on the whole thing they did, with no room for them to distort the tale. Their own moves communicate louder than whatever you may have stated or finished. Ultimately, his patience turned into really worth some distance more than any on-the-spot reaction should have accomplished. You didn't want to prove whatever. Their behavior proved the whole lot. And when God allows this reality to surface, it's far unmistakably clean. They thought they had been taking advantage, but all the time they were just stepping deeper into the very trap their stillness had, organized for them. Fifth, he is turning their manipulation right into a megaphone. While human beings flip in opposition to you, seeking to make you the villain in their story, they often overlook one aspect. The truth would not alternate simply due to the fact they want it to. They may distort records, inform lies, and try to make everybody see you in a terrible light. But no matter how difficult they push their narrative, truth has a way of coming out. The factor approximately lies is that they need regular preservation. One slip, one forgotten detail, and the entire tale begins to resolve. God sees all of this from the start, and while the instant is right, we could their model of activities fall apart under its own weight. You do not want to protect yourself or try to prove what is actual, due to the fact the truth is solid. It would not bend or exchange depending on who is looking at it. All the one's false accusations and twisted stories they created turn out to be a residence of playing cards, and with a touch push from reality, the entirety falls apart. As their tale falls aside, people start to note the issues. Matters they stated approximately, you do not upload up. The photo they tried to color of you now not suits what others see. Individuals who formerly believed their version of you begin to question the entirety. The reality starts off evolved to face on its very own, without the want for defense or explanation for your element. And that's the beauty of it. The truth is relentless. It doesn't need aid to live strong. Looking the fact upward pushed to the floor is like looking the tide upward thrust, slowly, however, really, washing away each piece of the sandcastle they built on lies. And in that moment, they may be uncovered, without a version of activities to hide in the back of. The truth they tried so difficult to bury is in plain sight, proving that, regardless of how an awful lot they try to distort, the reality continually wins. Sixth, birthday party that transcends simple rewards. The celebration of God is like not anything you've ever seen. It is not just about getting something returned or proving a point. It's miles of profound personal blessing, so intrinsically designed that it seems C498CA6AC814820A0E6FDDBF2BA4D831 for your journey. While God brings rewards, they're a long way beyond what anybody should consider. They're tailored for you, assembly desires and desires that you may have left aside or even forgotten. It is a moment in which the whole lot comes complete, a reversal so complete that it appears almost surreal. This is not about a public show or simply winning over your enemies. The advantages that arrive pass deeper. They heal, renew, and empower you in methods you didn't understand you needed. It is a silent but simple reminder that each conflict, each setback, and every ounce of patience had a purpose. And what's maximum effective about these rewards is how they undergo God's particular stamp. You feel it in each element, as though it had been handpicked only for you. There may be a satisfaction in knowing that no one else may want to have planned it this manner. Time, the form it takes, and the peace it brings verify the source. This is greater than just reimbursement. It's miles a celebration that affirms your really worth, replenishes your spirit, and restores what has been lost in approaches that move beyond any human expectation. While this occurs, you are left with a deep, silent pleasure that doesn't want a target market to be real, because you are aware of it become designed by using something larger. Seventh, your tale turns into their lesson. When God supplies justice, it is not just his victory. It will become an effective lesson that resonates beyond the on-the-spot scenario. Those who watched silently, who stood with the aid of or subtly supported folks who tried to overthrow him, are not mere passive spectators. They are confronted with simple proof that there are outcomes for every action, even for surely looking the other manner. Her story will become a living, plain example of what takes place when someone tries to govern, betray, or undermine. This is not approximately revenge, it's a revelation. Display everybody around you that divine justice isn't something abstract. It's real and correct. Your adventure, the battles you fought, and the staying power you clung to become a testimony that shatters any doubt approximately who absolutely holds the power. Human beings begin to see that each preference, each silent approval, and each complicity has a fee. This isn't pretty much the people who without delay harmed you. It is a AA003E33992, AA1E42449, A037E2560BF2 for all and sundry, who notion they might break out with comparable actions or supported others in doing so. On this manner, your story turns into a brand new widespread, a caution that contains weight beyond your immediate circle. People are forced to rethink their movements and the alliances they pick. This justice transforms from a personal victory into a public lesson, a marker of divine retribution that leaves an enduring impact. And as your existence actions ahead, you aren't simply a person who overcame a struggle. He's a person whose tale has dotted the I's, displaying that no transgression goes omitted and no injustice is going unanswered. 8th, exhibition that displays their personal heart. God has a top-notch manner of handing over justice that not most effective addresses the movements of his enemies, but peels return the layers to reveal the actual nature in their hearts. This isn't a universal punishment. It is a particular and personal reckoning that reflects your intentions returned to them. Whilst their schemes unfold, it is as if the universe is conserving up a reflect, revealing exactly who they're and what they have executed. As their plans collapse, the details in their malicious intentions emerge as clear for all to peer. This exhibition no longer handiest indicates their moves, but lays naked the motivations that drove them. Have been they packed with jealousy? Did they act out of spite or a choice for manage? God's justice presentations your inner darkness, leaving no room for excuses or justifications. At that second, the fact turns into undeniable, and their cautiously cultivated facades fall. Witnessing this reflex is not pretty much seeing a person punished. It's a moment of readability for everyone worried. Pals, own family, and viewers who might also were uncertain about what turned into going on now have a front row seat to the results of betrayal and evil. It's far a chilling but enlightening revel in, as they understand the depths of deceit and cruelty which could reside in a person. This type of divine publicity serves as a powerful reminder that our actions screen our proper selves. God's justice is not just an summary idea. It is a tangible fact that may be seen, understood, and felt. And on this revelation, their enemies are left with a stark awareness. Now not only have they been held accountable for their actions, but their real selves were uncovered for the sector to look. 9th, the exchange of power from which they can't get away. When God intervenes, it isn't always just a second of reckoning for his enemies. It's far a seismic shift within the entire electricity dynamic. They may have walked around with an inflated experience of manipulate, questioning that their manipulations and schemes have guaranteed them a permanent vicinity on the top. However, whilst divine intervention takes place, this illusion shatters in an immediate. The very floor they stood on begins to shake, and unexpectedly their perceived electricity evaporates. It's far a complete transformation that adjustments the landscape of have an impact on. This shift in strength is greater than only a change in instances. It's far a fundamental reorganization of relationships. People who as soon as felt invincible and untouchable now locate themselves on shaky ground, facing the truth that their dominance has been dismantled. What they once noticed as a solid grip on energy seems to be not anything extra than a mirage, effortlessly swept away by using a better authority. In that second, anyone around them sees the truth. The tables have turned. and it is clear that they are able to not control the narrative or the outcomes in their moves. This variation has profound implications for his enemies. They're now not the architects of their struggles. They became the architects in their own downfall. The strength dynamics don't just turn, reverses in a manner that leaves a long-lasting mark. Those who attempted to control, intimidate, or belittle you are now forced to face the effects in their picks. The pudding is for all time altered, and they find themselves managing the repercussions as you upward push into the gap that has been freed up for you. What's incredible is that this transformation isn't just a transient exchange, establishes a new order. Their preceding affect is changed via a recognition of your electricity and resilience. The sector witnesses this divine restructuring, and it serves as the effective reminder that no person can escape God's hand in relation to justice. The strength they once wielded is long gone, and in its vicinity is an undeniable recognition of their rightful place in history. Tenthly, witnessing its cracks under stress. Witnessing your enemy's downfall isn't only a brief spectacle, it is greater like a sluggish movement educate destroy that everybody can see. God does not simply pull the rug out from below them in one fast movement. Alternatively, he orchestrates a slow revelation that leaves them struggling to preserve their facade as their foundation crumbles beneath them. It's like watching a person try and prop up a perfectly excellent constructing tailored toothpicks and marshmallows, regardless of how difficult they try to hold it. Altogether, absolutely everyone is aware of its most effective a matter of time before the entirety falls apart. As the cautiously constructed photograph starts off, evolved to crack, its miles both tragic and a little comical. You notice them sweating profusely, looking to hold that courageous smile on their faces, even as internal they may be boiling with panic. It is the form of scene that could encourage a sitcom. Pals and enemies gather to witness this sluggish disintegration, and what a show it's miles. Human beings lean in, popcorn in hand, prepared for the following act of this theatrical tragedy. Each misstep they make will become a bankruptcy within the unfolding narrative. With every try and maintain their phantasm, they divulge more in their proper selves. Their allies, who as soon as stood firmly by way of their facet, begin to distance themselves, figuring out they need no part of the downfall when the whole charade in the end falls aside. Their humiliation isn't always just a temporary flash, extends, giving all people enough opportunity to see the real impact of their moves. Whilst their facade eventually collapses, anyone is nicely aware of who they surely are behind the curtain. And even as it's sad to look someone fall from grace, there's an unusual pleasure in understanding that your tries at pretending have failed spectacularly. They wanted to manipulate the narrative, however. Now they have got grew to become the funny story right into a divine anecdote, one which reminds anyone that the truth continually reveals a way to shine, regardless of how tough you try and keep it hidden. 11th, reworking your pain into public honor. Every worry you've got faced, every second your enemies have tried to carry you down, is set to be repurposed into something first-rate. God does now not permit your ache go to waste. As an alternative, he makes it the very basis of his public honor. Every warfare becomes a stepping stone, each setback a building block that contributes to the grand structure of your eventual birthday party. Your journey isn't just a collection of unlucky events, it is a carefully crafted masterpiece of resilience and energy. Whilst you upward thrust from the ashes of your pain, it is no longer just about convalescing. It is approximately reworking yourself into something extra powerful than you had been earlier than. Every insult, each try to undermine you, becomes a layer inside the wealthy tapestry of your victory. This is not simply a comeback tale. It's miles of profound metamorphosis. You are not the equal man or woman who persisted those trials. It is a stronger, more determined version of yourself, armed with the awareness and perception that can most effective come from surviving the hurricane. As you increase in the direction of your properly deserved recognition, your enemies will witness the end result of their attempts to humiliate you. What they intended to apply as weapons against you will, as an alternative, turn out to be the gear of your triumph. The idea they might break you, but instead they inadvertently forged you right into an image of energy and perseverance. His adventure turns into a thought, a testament to the reality that even the darkest moments can supply, beginning to the brightest victories. This transformation is not only for you, resonates with everyone who has faced their personal trials. Her story turns into a beacon of wish, showing that pain can lead to purpose and that every conflict can culminate in honor. So as the arena watches him rise, they do not just see his victory, they see the splendid adventure that brought him right here, an adventure that proves that nothing can define him apart from his personal resilience. At this moment, your ache will become public honor, and every eye that once regarded down on you will now be pressured to understand the energy of your transformation. 12th, he is making their envy seen to all and sundry. God would not simply divulge the actions of his enemies. He goes deeper, revealing the very motivations that drove his hostility. When divine justice unfolds, it pulls return the curtain on their envy, making it painfully visible to everyone around. What was as soon as a hidden resentment is now uncovered for all to see, stripping away any illusions they may have held. This isn't always pretty much displaying your errors. It's approximately illuminating the actual supply in their evil, the envy that fermented of their hearts. As this envy involves mild, it will become glaringly obvious that the root in their animosity was never without a doubt approximately you. Instead, it displays their own insecurities, flaws, and the darkness they refuse to acknowledge inside themselves. God's justice exhibits that their hassle changed into by no means their success or their really worth. It turned into their incapability to confront their own feelings of inadequacy. This revelation absolutely adjustments the narrative, turning the spotlight from you to them, where it truly belongs. The humiliation they face is not just for their actions, but for the motivations in the back of them. Each person testifies to how envy can distort a person's judgment and lead them down a route of bitterness and hostility. Individuals who were as soon as judgmental at the moment are pressured to cope with the truth that the real hassle resides of their own hearts. This public revelation serves as a cautionary tale, reminding others of the dangers of letting envy dictate behavior. In this manner, God's justice acts like a magnifying glass, intensifying the heat on their motivations until they can now not disguise. Friends, colleagues, and even informal observers begin to see the flaws in your individual. It turns into clear that what they had been projecting onto you changed into a mirrored image of your very own inner struggles. As this know-how deepens, the tide turns for your prefer, and your enemies are left exposed, managing the outcomes in their very own envy. They desired to take him down, but as a substitute they showed the world precisely who they're. A stark reminder that envy, in all its ugliness, ends up revealing more approximately the resentful than the envied. Inside the fantastic tapestry of life, God's divine justice is a difficult thread that weaves together the stories of triumph and transformation. As your enemies are uncovered and your envy is exposed, you stand now not most effective as a survivor, however, as a testimony to the strength of resilience and religion. Every problem you continued will become a badge of honor, and each moment of humiliation they tried to inflict on you turns into a catalyst to your closing victory. This isn't always just a tale of retribution. It's miles a profound adventure of self-discovery and upliftment. As you rise from the ashes of their envy, you encompass the reality that what was supposed to break you has rather tailor-made you stronger, wiser, and undeniably powerful. Your celebration isn't merely personal, reverberates at some point of your network, inspiring others to face their personal challenges and triumph over the darkness that may try to envelop them. As they witness their transformation, they research that their struggles can also lead to empowerment and public honor. So as you move ahead, keep in mind that God now not handiest crafted your victory, however additionally lit the manner for others to comply with. His enemies may also have sought to tarnish his name, but what they did not recognize was that their moves would best serve to enlarge his light. With each step you're taking in the direction of your new truth, allow their envy be a reminder of your power and a beacon to the ones nevertheless inside the shadows. This is your moment, a divine birthday celebration of all that you are, and a powerful message that fact and resilience will usually succeed. If this message resonates with you, do not forget to subscribe to our channel for greater inspiring content material that lifts your spirit and fuels your adventure. We are here to percentage testimonies of triumph and transformation that remind us of the power of resilience and faith. We want to pay attention from you. Share your thoughts, reviews, and reflections within the feedback under. Let's create a network that celebrates strength, helps each different, and thrives together. And don't forget, sharing this video with buddies and circle of relatives can assist unfold the message of wish and empowerment, even in additional. Your voice subjects. Join the communique and allows upward push together.